Hey there, and welcome to another edition of HiiVE Podcast, introducing you to the eXp Realty trailblazers and newsmakers that are aligning under one brokerage and creating a movement in the real estate industry. I'm your HiiVE host, Sam Rodriguez. What is all the buzz? Hey there, everybody, and thanks again for joining in on our latest episode. This is the HiiVE Podcast, where we talk about all the buzz in real estate, particularly with eXp Realty. I'm Sam Rodriguez, your HiiVE host, and today we get the opportunity to welcome our special guest, Alex Tooke from Peak Properties in Colorado. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Awesome. I'm really excited to be here. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Really exciting stuff. You are really one of the newest additions as of today. I think just about ready to wrap up your full transition.
Yep.
But exciting stuff. I mean, I love the fact that we get to talk to people, groups like yourselves, on a daily basis, because you guys are no joke. Independent out in Colorado, crushing it. I think it was about close to 250 transactions, about over 90 million in volume. Nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. So those are amazing numbers, and I commend you for that.
Appreciate it. It's been a fun ride, and it's just getting started, I feel like.
I love it, and I know you guys are well known throughout the community there. Your brand is and being a different differentiator out in your marketplace too. So maybe kind of open up with a little bit of kind of sharing for those who aren't familiar, maybe not in your local market or in Colorado, a little bit about yourself and your group, and kind of how you got to work. How do you build up a book of business like that?
Yeah, I mean I've been in real estate for about 10 years now. So it's been a long but really short journey. So, I was an individual agent, at one of the big boxes, almost 9 years ago, I would say. And, really quickly realized that either I wanted to join a team or that I needed to start a team. And instead of joining a team, which might've been the easier aspect and route to go, I decided, let's just start a team out of the gate. And we went from me being a single agent to hiring 15 agents within like a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And we had to figure out what we were doing and, what was going to be our brand message, what was our branding, where were we going to go? And, we quickly found that we wanted to go independent. So we went out on our own after about 2 years of just kind of working through the nuts and bolts of it, and quickly grew the team from those 15. We shrunk down, got bigger, and kind of, you learn a lot through all of that. So over the last 10 years,
it sounds like the normal roller coasters that it sounds like.
Oh, it was insane. I mean,
that's how you get to success, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was just totally backwards, and it's fun for what you don't know, and then when you figure out what you do know along the way, and it kind of all plays together. So over the last few years, we've sold over $500 million in real estate, over 1,600 homes. And right now we are covering all of Denver metro. So we have 2 offices here in Denver, one in Aurora, one in Lakewood. So technically not Denver, but it's a Denver metro area.
I know that my sister actually lives in Aurora, so
nice.
I know all the surrounding areas pretty well.
Awesome. Yeah, she's probably our neighbor then. And then we have a team up in northern Colorado in Greeley. We have an expansion team up there already. So it's been fun.
You guys have been crushing it. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. But I guess kind of speaking of what's next, I mean, you guys decided then to uproot. I mean, you built up a brand. You talked about some really fast expansion. So why eXp? Because you're like I said, I think still wrapping up the tail end of the transition right now. What why does somebody want to leave a brand that you've created? Or I want to say not necessarily that you're leaving your brand, but even the independence, I guess I should say. What was it that was attractive about eXp?
The most attractive is that we're not leaving our brand. So, I mean, spending so much money, time, energy, tears, building up a brand, it's anybody who builds a business really wants to have that as their, that's their baby. They want to protect that at all cost. And, we spent a lot of money, not only in branding, but just in the culture and our offices and who we were and who we are. And so us deciding to stop waving the independent flag wasn't necessarily about, I kind of got frustrated over the last few weeks that everybody made it into a negative thing. Like, oh, you're giving up that, something's wrong. And it's so amazing to be able to say it's absolutely not about giving up something. It's about what you're doing to double down on what works. And what works is us. So us deciding to partner with eXp was allowing us to double down on the people and the culture and who we are as a group and expand on that. offering new things, new systems. But we look at EXP as almost like the system that's powering the back end of our brand. So yeah, I mean, our logos are next to each other, like on a few things, or everywhere actually now, but that's really the only change that we've experienced. And it's been really important for us to offload certain liabilities, but also certain, accounting, CDAs. There's a lot of back end that takes you away from being able to build bigger business and a stronger business because you're working in the business so much. So
That's
we looked at it kind of like I think Adam Bailey is who we've been friends with for a long time, brought us over here. And he mentioned it's kind of like a microchip in the computer. So it's just a new microchip in the Peak computer that allows us to grow and expand. And honestly, it's been like a mind revelation just to kind of offload some of those things.
Yeah, I think you made a couple key points there too, and I love the analogy. Actually, I've been using that for about 15 years. It's like the EXP is you're the brand. You're like the iPhone, right? I've been an Apple user for a long time, so you're the brand. People look at this and they know immediately, like they see that logo, they know it's an Apple iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't see is the chip inside, and I agree. I think that's exactly what it is. It's powering. It's taking away, like you're saying, the headaches. I've not yet met. And I've been in your position too, but I've not yet met that broker owner who says, hey, I like that risk, that responsibility, that liability. The other key word that you said in there was partner. You said partnering with eXp, because it's not like like you said, other people may look at it as, oh, I'm giving up. You are giving up. You're giving up by leveraging and being able to do what you do best. And your group, your team is still going to exist. Those folks are still going to work for you as team members,
Mm-hmm.
but they're getting something that I don't think they had at Peak, and that I probably can't get in any other brokerage, which is, or in most brokerages anyway, which is an ownership position, right? Because now that you're partners with them, they're still working for you as team members, but by partnering with them, I mean, I'm excited to hear what the response is to that was, because they get to grow Peak now if they want with you, right? Whether it's right there in Colorado, if you want to grow Peak even outside of the state, and even if it's not Peak that's growing, expansion wise, that they now have an ability then to introduce to other great agents, their friends, family members, maybe in California or Texas or anywhere for that matter. So I think that partnership piece is probably a big key.
For us, I mean, we've always made the analogy that we've always been a real estate team and a brokerage by default, being independent, we always have run it like a team. So us transitioning over to being a team at a brokerage is pretty seamless for us, because we've always been, we all do the same business. We have the same model. We have the same vocabulary. We do business consistently across the board. And we've always kind of made the analogy that we're an agent co-op. So we've always been in business with our agents. We've always been partners. No one has ever felt or, mentioned like they work at Peak. Like we work together, and that's always been a really big focus for us. And the alignment with eXp was exactly that too. Like we're now in a real estate co-op with eXp because we're benefiting back and forth. And for us, like the duties and liabilities and things that we offloaded, we could have hired a managing broker to take over some of my roles and some of the accounting and been that person, but that didn't free us up to focus on the building part. That just added another liability, another person in a seat. So that's where the partnership with eXp really just made so much sense. And it's kind of just clicked over the last, I don't know, we've been working on this since about September of last year. And it finally just hit home like, all right, it's time to start doubling down on who we are. And that partnership is huge. And our agents have been really responsive to that. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks.
Same here. We're looking forward to seeing you guys launch here and that future success. I guess as you look at, maybe others, other agents that might have been hearing about eXp, as your market continues to grow, as markets all across the country continue to grow, what, as one of the new kids on the block here, what do you even tell somebody, or even coming from a broker owner position of your own, what do you tell others, or even another broker owner, any kind of words of advice for somebody like that, maybe even taking a look at or even considering a partnership like that?
Well, I think, every decision is either based on facts or emotion. And, I think the move for us to eXp and the move for, we actually have it's surprising when you put it out there that you're moving and doing something, and either somebody thinks it's a bad thing or they're like, oh my God, what are you doing? Tell me more about it. And we've had more of those instances, which has been kind of fun. I actually have a call right after this with a team out in Ohio that is like, hey, tell me about the experience. What's going on? Why did you do it? And it's really been about the alignment. I mean, being an independent, you're on your own island. You're out there by yourself. Like you reach out, you have resources, you have coaches, but at the end of the day, you have nobody to align with that's wanting to, help you grow your business. If you don't have to pay them, you don't have to work with them, but they're not really invested in you.
That's it. Yeah.
So that alignment is just so invaluable. And, I've known Adam, our sponsor, Adam Bailey, and Mike Gerbic for, almost my entire real estate career, through our affiliation with, a software platform that we use. And just being aligned with those guys and their entire, upline and downline is incredible. So my word of advice would be, look at the bottom line, and are you looking to put things in place that free you up to do the things you love? And that is an alignment with other people because you have that balance. Or are you really focused on waving that independent flag where it's, I want to do everything. And this industry is all about, I want to do everything. I want to wear every hat. I want to do everything. And that's really cool. I've done it. I love it. I'm just now ready for the next chapter. And so is our team. And that's my word of advice, is look at what's really important right now.
That's good point. And sometimes, and again, not saying that this was the case with you, what we find with some is sometimes it's just removing our own ego, right? Because we built something up, right? It's I've got my brand, I love my logo, and we've done this, I've done this. I get that, and that's it's not to take away from any broker owner from what they've created, but you're right. It's John Maxwell also makes a statement too, and he says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, take others with you. And you're right. It's aligning with, for the first time ever, there's a brokerage that has an alignment and invested interest in each other's success. You and I only met, maybe a month or so ago. But I'm interested in your success and invested in your success. Maybe not directly, but indirectly, because as a whole, this company, we all profit from it, right?
Well, and I think that's one big thing too. It's like when we were going through this process, obviously we didn't just talk to eXp. Like if we were going to make a move, it had to be something that was, number one, right for our agents, but number two, was right for the company that we built. I mean, I won't name names, but we talked to large brokerages that were willing to write us a big check to not buy our brand, but to have us join their brand.
Right.
And, national brands that are willing to write you hundreds of thousands of dollars in, checks just to join them. We chose to actually go someplace where we wanted to actually contribute to the company for ownership and the relationships. And that alignment with eXp has just been, we went from getting a mass big check with, lots of rules and regs behind it,
right,
to actually saying we would rather take money out of our bottom line to invest in a relationship with eXp because of the alignment that we have there and the people that are there. And, you're talking about you've been here for our success. It's been felt like every single person throughout the process, from our onboarding team to our managing broker who drove 4 hours to meet with us here in our office yesterday. It's just been really welcoming, and it's, just refreshing to have those other people, and that you can count on them from day one because they've been there through the process already. So awesome. It's pretty cool.
I love that. You made a ton of great points there. Alex, like I said, we're super excited to hear about, kind of what's happening next. I know you're getting ready to really get that kicked off. And with that, I kind of put a wrap on our discussion here today. Looking forward to some other discussions and some other great introductions from folks that you're looking to introduce to the model. And with that, I would just say that, for anybody out there, again, if you hear from Alex, take the call, right? Hear him out. Listen to the opportunity. For those of you who are already talking to an eXp agent, continue to explore. Try to poke as many holes as you can in the model.
And I did. I poked a lot. And
I
had great answers.
One thing I regret, Alex says, and I think we've all said this, and now that you're here, we've all said, well, when we heard about the model, the one regret we had was that we didn't do it sooner. But I growing up, one of my biggest regrets was not hearing out other opportunities. I was at whatever company I was at, and I loved it, and that's a good thing. But I wasn't open to hearing, what if there was something better? I didn't hear it out. I didn't give it the chance. And only until a few years ago that I made that mind shift. I should have. So shame on me.
I'd say my biggest thing on that, and I'll wrap it up here too, is listen to those who want to help you solve problems, not the ones that want to market to you.
That's great.
That's been one of the biggest things through this transition. So
And I think that is a key piece, is that nobody's here trying to sell anybody on something. It's that there's a true active interest in each other's success. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's where the magic happens. So thank you, Glenn Sanford, for creating that. Alex, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, and looking forward to some big things by your side.
Appreciate you.
Same here. Thanks again. And that is a wrap on another episode of HiiVE Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and give this episode a thumbs up if you like what you heard, and remember to subscribe for future episodes. You can also catch some highlights and other eXp news and industry buzz on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts.